On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing the S&P, Shiller, and FHFA house price indices, both just released. The housing vacancy and home ownership report for quarter one, as well as Florida's most expensive home sale ever. Today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. I am Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. Live from Naples, Florida. Let me know in the live chat where you are today, wherever you may be. Which market are you tuning in live from? Let's get connected on markets. Let's get connected on referrals here in the hot sheet live chat. Let's make some new connections. If you're new to the show, we do it every Monday through Thursday when the markets are open. It's 9:30 Eastern. It's 6:30 on the West Coast. It's when the stock market opens, right at 9:30. That's when we do this show. Thank you for coming to the. Let me know if you came to the BAMX members only role play. We just did it at 9. We're going to try to fit in more of those right before the hot sheet. So if you were a part of that and you're into it, let me know if you were just over there and if you enjoyed it and all of that. That's BAMX members who do a role play 9 o'clock sometimes before this. But if you're new to the show, send this to somebody who can benefit from it. Angela, how are you doing? Send it to somebody who could benefit, somebody you care about, somebody in this business who could benefit from a 24-hour look back on housing, how the economy is impacting our housing market from the macro. The micro better than anybody. Tying the two together, the macro and the micro, creates a really dynamic experience because remember, most of your consumers are hearing the macro headlines. CNBC, CNN Business, Fox Business, they're hearing the macro headlines, tying the two together, really powerful, and so on. So let's get into S&P Shiller. It's, typically over decades, it's been considered the gold standard for prices. It's kind of outdated, or not outdated, but it's a rear view looking mirror big time. The data is a couple of months by the time you get it. So, you look at Zillow comes out within the last couple of weeks, their projection moving forward saying, hey, prices are moving down, not up nationally. They've got their first bear report in question, 1.7% down is what they're saying, but they're looking at real-time data. Shiller is going to be accurate, but who's not going to be accurate when it's 3 months ago? But everybody looks at this stuff when it comes to home prices. A lot of the mainstream, they're going to report on this. And so, we're going to look at it too. U.S. home prices rose 3.9% year over year. This is the February report. It's like February seems like a long time ago. A lot of markets right now are reacting differently than what we had as a mindset coming in from, February. February, the president was still getting good polling, very different 100 days later, right? 10 days after the inauguration, there was still a lot of, economic confidence that was starting to swing up. Confidence down, talked about it yesterday. So not a political statement, just is what it is. The economic confidence right now in our markets across the country, it's moving sideways at best. It's concerns, there's cracks, there's volatility to it. So back in February, home prices rose 3.9% year over year. That was down 4.1% from February. So doesn't mean prices went down. The appreciation was slightly less than year over year in January, but you're going to continue to see that. That's the trend that Zillow's talking about, that appreciation has downward pressure. Okay. Even in the markets that are starved for inventory, that are still appreciating, Northeast, certain areas in the Midwest, Midwest, some of these areas that are still appreciating, not appreciating as rapidly as you saw year over year from 23 to 24. And then you've got other areas where you actually have downward pressure on price. Southwest Florida, example, the biggest example in the country, right? So for that particular measurement, downward pressure. And let's just take a look at they do a 20-city composite. I think the 20-city composite gives you a good feel on, kind of what's going on. across the country. You got the 20 city, you got the 10 city, and then the U.S. national here for Case Shiller. So the one that stands out to me, it's Tampa's actually in the negatives, 1.46% on the 1 year change. This is February's number. So year over year, Tampa Bay's moved down 1.46% on home prices. Okay. Everybody else in the 20 city metropolitan area is up. Okay. Now you've got some that are getting close. Cleveland's up just less than, or I'm sorry, Dallas is up less than 1%. Cleveland's actually up almost 7%. Chicago's up 7%. Boston's up 6%. You've got New York up 7.7%. Those are the big gainers. You got a lot of 2s and 3s in there. That's really, that's more normal appreciation. Even 7 is, you go back historically, 7% is a big number. Okay. You expect 2s, 3s, 4s. Those are normal numbers. And you look at the 10 city and the 20 city, they're starting to move down towards those more normalized appreciation numbers. The 20 cities coming in at 4.5%, January or February over February. The 10 cities coming in at 5.18%. Okay. The change on both of those moved up slightly. U.S. national coming in at 3.87%. Again, 3.9% less than the 4.1% on the national number that was seen, just the month prior. Okay. Here's a look at that. You got the February to January change. So month over month, you saw some areas that now you gotta watch out for what's been going on here in the spring. Dallas moved down month over month. Denver moved down month over month. Phoenix moved down. Portland moved down. Tampa moved down again. So you've got some of these. Now, listen, a half a point, 1%. Nobody's concerned about a half a point or a quarter of a point on home price appreciation, especially with the gains that have been seen so far in this decade. But there's just not enough. We've seen it with mortgage applications the last couple of weeks. You get closer to 7%. There's just not going to be enough buyer demand even to fill out the current inventory we have. This 3 to 5 million inventory that we need to meet demand. That would push prices. That would create some real affordability options because it would push prices down and push it down for a lot of homeowners. A lot of homeowners wouldn't be happy with that because ultimately what homeowners know is this happens each and every single year. We'll move over to FHFA's home price index now. Also just released. FHFA, we know go back to 1991. Okay. Not just for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Go back to 91 to just map out what happens here for home prices. They move up and to the right, and they always do. You get something that is the global economy has never seen in hundreds of years. The mortgage crisis, which almost collapsed every country's economy. Okay. For people that think there's another one of these coming, listen, nobody can predict that, but that almost crashed the entire global economy. You don't get those every year. Go back the last 6 decades of home prices. You've got the great financial crisis, and you have like one other year where home prices actually move down. Home prices don't move down. They go up and to the right. This is monthly home price from 1991 to today. Well, I want to wait for home prices to come down. I can't tell you what's going to happen over the next 12 months. Tampa might move down another 1.5%. Might. But you're going to be here for next 10 years. Let's take a look at what's happened over the last 40. Give you an indication of what maybe you're waiting for. U.S. in February 23 to February 24 went up 7.3%. FHA's got it at 3.9%. That's the same as Case Shiller. So you can see the difference here. A year makes. Expect most local towns to do the same thing. To have even if you appreciate, even if you're in I think 55 plus real estate with Fred said, hey, Princeton, New Jersey, it's a hot market. Yeah, New Jersey's got very limited inventory. Those Northeast states, very limited inventory. It's going to be hot. I'd pull, and I just did this in the role play, Fred. Anybody in one of those markets where the inventory's like bonkers, I'd pull, hey, Princeton had 200 homes on the market in 2019, in April of 2019. Today they have 50. That's the number I'd be sharing, as opposed to it's hot, it's multiple offers. There's more buyers than sellers. That doesn't paint the picture for me. Okay. Hey, Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. No, paint the picture for me. Patrick Mahomes is 100 more touchdown passes than Tom Brady at this point in their career. And he's got 3 Super Bowls versus the 2. Like, okay, that paints the picture for me. That starts to become real. Okay. Listen, I know he's got more touchdowns and whatever. I'm just giving you examples. Like, paint the picture. You're just going to get into an argument with people and confuse people, or they're just going to tune you out if you say, this market's hotter than that market, or whatever the case may be. Fred's not doing that. I know Princeton, New Jersey is hot. My point is the two numbers. Hey, today we've got 12 single family homes in this neighborhood. We had 112 in 2019. Look at the chart. Circle the two points. What buyer is thinking prices are coming down when you paint the picture for them? Now, even when you see this chart, hey, well, it looks like prices are heading the other. No, they're still appreciating. They're just not appreciating as much. They're not appreciating at the level when we still had a lot of printed money floating around. Jason, Joe Montana's he's not even in the top 2 discussion. Pacific 7.2% versus 0.9%. Okay, the appreciation slowing down considerably. Let's see how much inventory we stack up in these markets over the summer. Inventory is going to continue to accumulate. How much more pressure does this put on price appreciation? The mountain not appreciating as much. West, north, central, everybody. West, south, central, east, north, central, east, south, central. New England, 11.4% versus 6.1% over the last 12, over the 12 from February to February. Middle Atlantic, 10.6% versus 7%, and South Atlantic, 7.5 versus 3.2. All right. Home price appreciation slowing down. Look at the real-time stats in your market. Okay. With what Shiller is saying, and now FHFA is saying from February, you could connect the dots for March, April, and now getting into May. You could connect the dots in your local market. You kind of see where things are going on price. This is the national conversation that a lot of your consumers are going to be hearing about. Home prices are still doing whatever, or they're not appreciating as much. You can connect the dots to the micro better than anybody. You got to be able to arm yourself with what they're hearing. That's why we're talking about it here, right? All right, let's take a look at vacancies. Let's take a look at home ownership rate here. This data was just released by the U.S. Census Bureau, so let's take a look. Rental vacancy rate right now is 7.1%. That's moving up, showing you that there's pressure on rentals. Home owner vacancy rate is 1.1%. Home ownership rate is 65.1%. Here's how it looks, it's kind of zooming out over the last 20 plus years. And this is broken up quarterly. So U.S. Census Bureau current population survey, housing vacancy survey as of April 28th. So this is released yesterday. Why we're looking at it today. We're trying to cover the most relevant stuff that we possibly can here on the hot sheet, so we have it in real time. Rental vacancy rate. Look at what it was in that great financial crisis. It's moving up right now. It's nowhere near what it was. Homeowner vacancy rate, you don't really ever see it get as high as it did in 08, 09, 10, 11 in those years. It got up to 3%, which is people were just walking away from homes, like leaving Unfortunately, this actually happened to me back in those days. One of the apartments I had, somebody left a couple of cats. Like people were just leaving stuff. Cats, dogs, clothing, whatever, just walking out of the house. So that number's ticking up a little bit, but still, I mean, look at the last 20 years. We're at near 20-year lows. So the inventory is not coming from people just kind of not using a house, or walking away from a house. We're not seeing that right now. Okay. We're not seeing it on any level where anybody has any concern. So these national vacancy rates at 7.1% for rental housing and 1.1 was higher than the first quarter of 2024. 6.6% is what you saw in rentals. That's the number to me that, if somebody's got a reason to, it's going to be much more affordable for them to rent. Hey, you're getting more leverage every day. This is going to ultimately, with the indecision that buyers are having right now, this is going to pull more people into that rental market because there's going to be more opportunity. Landlords and tenants, they're going to have to negotiate a little bit more. 7.1% national vacancy rate, a little higher than they want it. Okay. A little higher than they've been used to the last few years. 6.6% last year. Not all that different from fourth quarter though, where it was at 6.9, still up. Homeowner vacancy rate was 0.8 in the first quarter of 2024. So, a little bit of a tick up there. Again, I'm not worried about that one. Look at the first quarter in 2019 on the rental. It's 7. We're a little bit higher than that. Not much, 0.1, call that flat, but we're back to pre-pandemic levels on that. So the rental market's evening out a little bit. Homeowner vacancy was 1.4. It was 1.5 when you look at 2019, 2018. There's still room for that. And as the market softens up, you probably do see that number go up. You don't see it go to 3 outside of some kind of huge black swan event, mortgage crisis, despite what Darth Vader on X says. Median asking rent for vacant for rent units, 99 to 2025. That number's, for the first time in 20 years, getting a little bit of relief. I mean, that number didn't even go down during the great financial crisis, recession, right? The number didn't even move down here. Median asking rent for vacant rent for rent units. That number still plowed up. It went up in the .com recession. It went up in the COVID recession. I mean, it's just gone up so much. You're seeing pressure on this price. But what do you think happens with this when you fast forward 10 years? Median asking sales price for vacant for sale units. This is where there's an opportunity to potentially negotiate. I mean, listen, I'm thinking Sunbelt states here. I got a call from somebody who's negotiating a deal right now in a high inventory market, not a market I work in. They're negotiating. They're somebody I know from Connecticut. They're negotiating a deal, and I'm like, dude, like just keep firing bullets. Like, why are you gonna? Well, my girlfriend really wants the house. Yeah. Well, is she writing the check? Because if it's my money, you have like 2 houses, 3 out, you have places to live. Why would you, if the seller's not willing to negotiate, find somebody who's not sitting on aspirations. Find somebody who's real. There's way more inventory where you're looking than there was in 2019. Median asking sales price on vacant units. This is coming down. If I'm working with buyers in Austin, Texas, if I'm working with buyers in some of these high inventory markets, like I'm looking and to make offers, set up showings, do tours. I got to do my homework. I got to maybe go on PropStream, whatever, to find out which one of these units is vacant. I got to do a little bit of due diligence, but I want to make offers on vacant. Look at the median asking sale price on vacant. They're moving down, not up. While the rest of hey, where are the deals? This is where the deals are. find vacant properties in your single family. There's not many of them, but if you find them, you got a much better chance of negotiating than you do on the existing homes where there's a family living in it. Those prices are going up. We just looked at case Shiller. They're not appreciating as much, but they're still moving up. So, hey, have an answer for buyers when they say, where are the deals in this market? Well, the deals are my off-market list that I work for you. I do this for my private clients. The deals are on vacant single-family homes. And the deals are our ability to be able to, maybe your Compass. Hey, the deals are in our Compass exclusive because I got first access to them. And we don't have competition on, maybe Compass doesn't like me saying that, but right. What I think Compass is doing really well is articulating a process. Compass exclusive coming soon, public sites. Agree with it, disagree with it. I know that's a sticky subject in the industry right now, but if somebody asks you what deals are in the market, have an answer. Hey, I'm seeing two major deals right now. It's vacant homes. There's not a lot of them, but vacant single family homes. I can do the homework on those. And it's the list that I'm working to find off-market deals. You know, if you want me to reach out to a particular neighborhood, I'll do that. I'll get connected with everybody I possibly can. Where are the deals? As opposed to there are no deals. There's multiple offers on everything. Well, that sounds discouraging. You sound like a great time. I don't know if I want to get a cup of coffee with you after the tours. I certainly don't want to get a martini with you. You sound like a negative Nelly. I don't even want to be around you. Here's the vacancy rates versus homeowner. Listen, these tables, we're going to put them into BAMX. If you're a BAMX member, you get access to all of my hot sheet notes, tables every single day. So if you want to break down regions, I mean, you got the Northeast versus Midwest, South. I mean, look at the South on rental vacancy rates, 8.4 versus 8.6. Northeast, where you don't have inventory, 4.4, 5.1. Okay. Homeowner vacancy rates. What are like the places where they're building, that's where it's the highest. It's 1.3 in the South. That's the highest. West is 1.1. Going to be a harder conversation to find deals there in the Northeast. Okay. Here's a couple things we'll throw into. We've got inside of BAMX for members as well. Rental vacancy region that I just went over. So you got somebody who's an investor, somebody's thinking about becoming an investor. They need to understand, hey, well, what are the vacancies? If you're going to buy in the South right now where they've built a lot of this multifamily, I mean, not 9% of the time, if you're operating well, it's going to be vacant. Are you factoring that number in? Or are you just factoring in that insurance never goes up? Jose on a role play. Jose, he's in the live chat here. Jose's in Southwest Florida. He's in Cape Coral. He's in Fort Myers. Connect with him. Send him your referrals. He's one of the best in our business. Jose is in a market where inventory is shooting up. He talked about on the role play with BAMX members right before we came into this, like, hey, insurance costs is also going up where I am. So inventory is shooting up. Insurance cost is shooting up. You know, how do I, make sense of a deal? Yeah, these are all conversations with that would-be beginner investor. You need to have like, hey, insurance is going up. How are you going to factor that in? Are you going to factor in the fact that the AC is probably going to break and 9% of the time you're going to be vacant if you're a great operator? If you're a great operator. Here's home ownership rates by region. Where do people own the most homes? Is the Midwest. They get it. It's 70%. Keep it simple. You got better values there. Northeast, very expensive. West, very expensive. Lower home ownership rates. Okay. Midwest, South, they've got the highest. You can put some data together on that. I mean, that to me, depending on what region you're in, how you want to spin that, how you want to have that conversation, email, this is all that right there. Home ownership rates per region, this would be something that's at least interesting to customers. Okay. To people who are just maybe not on the 7 to 12 year journey of buying or selling, like entertain them a little bit. Talking about walking through the inspection process on social, probably not interesting to a lot of people unless they're buying that week, unless they're buying a house that week. Okay. But some of this other stuff is going to be interesting to people. And by the way, I'm going to show you how to do that. If you want to do like a weekly show like this in your market, BAMX members, I'm doing that on, May 28th. Okay. So May 28th, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the weekly show for consistency. We got a whole bunch of stuff obviously coming up between now and then on your calendar. If you want to get access, just go to the classroom tab to the hot sheet stuff for BAMX members. And it's right in here every day. Every single day we do the hot sheet. Upload this for you to just be able to grab, plus my notes, how we put the show together. It's all right there. Classroom tab, go down to hot sheet. And then this tab here is just all the new social content every single week. BAMX members, that's where you find that. School.com/BAMX. If obviously you want to get into that. All right. This came across. I think this is interesting to mention. There's a lot of concern. There's a lot of hesitation right now. There's confidence down, all of these different things. Oh my God, we're getting into hurricane season. So the Eastern Seaboard, the Southeast parts of the country, I'm going to wait till after that. I'm going to wait till after the tariffs. I'm going to wait until after the recessions. I'm going to wait. I'm concerned. The economy's got me concerned. We're just talking about this in the BAMX role play. And what was announced yesterday? This is 20 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. 18 minutes out of season, 22 minutes in season when you got more traffic. It is right in Port Royal, Naples. Okay. Florida's most expensive property sells for $225 million. This is Realtor.com article, but these articles are Wall Street Journal reported on this. Everybody reported on this yesterday. Despite sitting in an extreme flood zone. I mean, according to Redfin, this property is going to be underwater in about 12 seconds. The Redfin chief economist went on X recently and guaranteed people in these extreme flood zones, they're going to be underwater. They're going to be swimming within days. I mean, listen, I get it. Climate change. It's a real, hurricanes are bigger, stronger. There's no question about it. They're destructive. We got a lot of stuff built on the shoreline. We've got a potential R word. People are recession. We've got tariffs. We've got a lot of things. A lot of people are concerned with. I don't know if you can afford a $225 million house. You're pretty smart with money. Okay, unless you just hit the lotto and you're just blowing it. The buyer is unknown right now. But this is right here in Naples. $225 million. It's in an extreme flood zone. I don't think you can get insurance on it. I don't think whoever bought it, $225 million, wants to see $225 million disappear. Point is, what does Warren Buffett always say? When there's fear in the market, there's opportunity. When everybody sees opportunity, that's when you should be fearful. Right now, everybody's fearful. And this buyer comes along and says, hey, 9 out of 10 risk on flooding, according to Realtor.com's climate rating. The property has a 99.9% risk of flooding over 30 years, the rating states, according to Realtor.com. A 99.9%. Your property is going to flood. Only God can save you. The property is going to flood. And the property's risk of flooding is increasing, according to Realtor.com. And this is like this is the second, third, something like that, highest sale price ever in the country. You get the New York City one that's going to be higher than this. Central Property. Never mind. Central Property sold for $133 million. This is $225. So It's made of 3 dwellings, blah, blah, blah. Wall Street Journal reported on it, all this kind of stuff. Here's another example of why, like, hey, everybody's fearful, but like long term, are these prices going up or down? In the last 6 months alone, 16 properties in Florida have sold for 40 million or more. Okay. Florida's supposed to be underwater. There was a property just recently here, one of these $100 million sales. Here it is. Last month, a Russian billionaire sold his Star Island mansion for 120 million, having purchased it for 16 million 15 years ago. The severe 8 out of 10 flood risk didn't stop the buyer. Okay. The Russian billionaire didn't buy it to hide money. The Russian billionaire sold it. The buyer coming in wasn't concerned about the flood risk. For all the concerns that we have, there's opportunity in these markets and listen, like Lisa Chinati said it beautifully on that role play. Like, are you going to be one of those buyers that takes advantage right now? Or are you going to wait for everybody to have supreme confidence when they're all bidding against each other? Bidding wars are like, if you're at an auction, a charity auction, it's alcohol infused or it's confident infused. When it's real estate, I got to be confident to keep bidding on the house. I got to be confident on the economy, the future, the whatever. You'll have more of that when you have more confidence. Okay. It's alcohol infused when you're at a charity. I want to show up my neighbor. I want to show up so-and-so from the school. When you're in real estate, this is real money. This is people's life savings. It's only I feel great about the future and don't think I can get a house for cheaper. Right now, people think they can get a house for cheaper. That's the opportunity to pounce and negotiate. This $225 million sale in Naples was listed at $295. The buyer did negotiate, paid a fortune. 10-year Treasury today, starting the day at 4.229. It's up a little bit over the last 24 hours. Or I'm sorry, that's over. We're still at the near peak for the month. Let's look at the last 24 hours. We're down a little bit. Good. 4.189 even better. Beautiful. Love it. We saw a little bit more downward pressure on the 30-year fix, 6.82 versus 6.84 to end the week. That's good news. We'll take that. Any downward momentum, we know that the market opens up when we see that. All right. If you missed the office hour or the role play rather that I did for BAMX members this morning at 9, tomorrow I'm hosting the office hours for BAMX members. So I'm going to do office hours tomorrow at 3 o'clock. That's 3 o'clock Eastern. That's 12 noon. So back on in your school for BAMX members, just go to your calendar. And I'm doing operating systems, how to run it. That's going to be tomorrow. Breakdown on how to run and operate your business. Good for solo, good for team leader. This is going to be a really good one. And you just want to, hey, everybody's always trying to get organized. I'll just give you a system to be organized. Just run the play. That's 3 o'clock tomorrow, members only. For anybody, there's a public webinar happening tomorrow at 12:30. This is Sharon Srivatsa, Andrew Undum. If you saw Andrew on Knowledge Brokers Pod, you obviously know Sharon from our BAM content. So listing presentation secrets tomorrow, 12:30. You can grab those in your calendar. I'm sure Haley will put the link in too for the public one. But you can also just grab this stuff right in your calendar here on BAMXschool.com/BAMX. If you're like, what the heck's this BAMX thing? I'm not in it. How are you not in it? Get in it. Love to see you there. There's no Facebook spam. Facebook groups are dead. A lot of spam. You can't even find the stuff. This is the best community training platform there is. That's why we're on it. And so there you go. There's your hot sheet here for the week. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you back here. Actually, on the channel, I'll have a Real Word pod later today, and then we'll see you back here on the hot sheet tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Till then, toodaloo.